walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on, I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind, and I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face, 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare a place for you. I go to prepare a place for you.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and thank all of you all for being here. It is always a pleasure to spend my Sunday evenings with my Bahamian people, who are ready for change, with my Bahamian people who want change, with my Bahamian people who are fed up with the same old, with my Bahamian people who are tired of being treated like nothing in their own country. It's always a pleasure to spend my evening with you. We started this live late because I got some disturbing news. Had a call from a police officer who informed me that there is a threat was intercepted against me, that there are persons from the Haitian gangs who feel like I am getting in the way of their money and that they have to kill me. When are we going to reach the point in this world where you could be from a country and feel like you're entitled to have rights in that country like everybody else, and not be second class to everyone else and being kicked down and stumped and beat down by everyone else? I know Bahamians who work for white foreigners who get talked to like dogs and treated like dogs and cussed out and fired. Some have even had, been abused physically by foreigners who they work for. Bahamians have been abused by our politicians, treated like dogs, treated like nothing by our politicians, treated the same way by police officers in some instances. Talked to like you work for them, not they work for you. Roughed up for no reason. And now we have some other foreigners who feel like they have a right to our land and they have a right to kill anyone who gets in their way. But we're going to have a conversation about this today. Because if y'all think someone's scared of y'all got another thing coming. The information that I got, one from the police, two from persons within that community, and three from someone who was involved with that mining operation, with the coal operation, is that the Haitians are saying that the police are working on their behalf. Not directly. The politicians are telling the police what to do, and the police are just following orders, just doing what they are told, even if it's against the law. They're just doing what they're told. Coming from a foreigner to say that they're controlling our police, that bothers me. Vladimir Putin has sent armed gunmen into Ukraine to oppress those people. And now what it seems is happening is that there are some Haitian nationals who are sending men with guns to oppress Bahamians. These men with guns happen to literally be police officers who are doing as they're told. And so the message that got to me was that they were trying many different things. They're trying to find some trumped up charge by getting two Haitian nationals to go and lie and say that I shot a gun at them in the coal mine. Right? I shot the gun at them. But they were going to get two statements and use that to lock me up this evening. Once locked up, I would go to prison and there be executed, but not by the government. I was also told by an Asian national who has a lot of respect for me. I helped him out before, and his family. He's part of that. But the plot was to have the police take my guns back so that I would be vulnerable, to assist them in doing what it is they intend to do. This is happening in our country right now. That Haitian national said, Mr. Lincoln, you can't see from the beginning the police working for us. He said, look at everything. They're working for us. Sorry, the audio is giving some problems. That's because of how it's pointed. And so I hope you can hear me now. But the Haitian national said to me, and he was there the day after they tried to put that gate up, and then what they did was come and build a shop in that area, and he was telling me how they had planned to come in there and take that whole entire area over. The area was already burnt to a crisp, still is. Go in the back there, right there where they're going to put up that gate, where I met the lady who was saying she wanted to collect wood. They'd already burned that area to a crisp, and they were coming in, and he said that they were going to use persons, Haitian nationals with Bahamian passports, the children of those other persons. And they were going to come and claim all that common land in that area. He said, Lincoln, let it go. Messing with the cartel, and there's big money involved. My response to him was, I can't let this go. Because we only got one country. And I'm willing to die for this country. I'm willing to die for the people of this nation. I told him, they can't touch me unless God delivers me to them. And if God decides to do that, I hope that will be the wake-up call for my Bahamian people to realize that we are in siege. These boats are landing daily. America has over 300 million people. They could take the entire Haiti's 13 million people, and it wouldn't faze them. It would just blend right in. We have 200,000 adults. 200,000 adults. There are some neighborhoods in Haiti with over 200,000 people. Neighborhoods. Not towns, neighborhoods. We would be up in Shawara. Only have about 3,000 police officers. If these gang members decide to rise up and overthrow our country, police can't stop them. They got 3,000 police officers. Normally you'll have about 500 of them on duty at any given time, any given day, because they're on shifts. If the weekend is versus, a lot of them don't work weekends with the higher ranks. You could be outnumbered like that. Outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned. I'll get to that later. If 200 of them come every week on the boat, and more than that is coming in right now, if 200 of them come every week on the boat, our police force will be outmanned and outgunned in 15 weeks. Means they're already outmanned. Before I go on, I want to say this. There's some people who feel that because I'm standing up for the Bahamas and for the Bahamian people, that I am anti-Haitian, or we are xenophobic, or we don't like Haitians for some reason. That could not be further from the truth. That is a lie from the pits of hell. I'll tell you this, my first best friend, his name was Jeff Willie. I grew up as a little boy. That's one of the first people I knew. The Haitian family lived in the same yard. Beautiful, amazing people. As Paul Willie from the F&M brother died. That was my first best friend. They're beautiful sisters. Beautiful sisters. And I'm not just talking about beautiful on the outside, beautiful on the inside. They had a beautiful mother who is in heaven right now. I will tell you this. When you find Haitians who are good people, you're going to find the best people you've ever met in your life. People you can trust blindly. I don't think me or anyone is talking about all Haitians or assuming that all Haitians are the same. No, they're not. There are some Haitians I would trust over some of my own people. But then there are some bad apples. There are some bad apples. And there are some Haitians who see some Facebook posts where there's some Haitians who feel that they're Haitians who are making other Haitians look bad because of the things they are doing. These are the persons that we're talking about. This is not against Haitians or Haiti. This is trying to make sure that the bad apples who turned Haiti into what it is doesn't turn the Bahamas into what Haiti is. And if you would kill me for that opinion, then so be it. There are some Bahamians who would make Bahamians look bad. We're not painting everyone with the same brush. For those people who say that I have something against Haitians, I don't. I don't speak negative words against Haitians. I speak negative words about what some persons who happen to be illegal immigrants and some legal immigrants are doing. I don't hate you because I said I don't want you cutting down our trees to burn and make coal, to send to Haiti and make millions of dollars. I don't hate you. I don't want a Bahamian drug dealer selling drugs to Bahamians in our neighborhoods. I don't hate Bahamians because I say that. I don't want pedophile pastors or politicians molesting young girls. I don't hate Bahamians because I said that. I'm talking about the individuals who are doing wrong. You know who you are. And if I'm getting in the way of your money and you feel that I should die because of that, then come. The man you are saying hates Haitians came to the rescue of Haitians during the earthquake. When that earthquake happened, I want you to look at this. When that earthquake happened, Hubert Ingram, the prime minister of this country, said, the Bahamas cannot help Haiti because the American government has taken over the Port-au-Prince airport. He said they turned around the prime minister of Barbados in the air and didn't allow him to land. Do you remember that? I organized an entire plane, not the small planes, the big planes, like with Bahamas airplanes that size, it goes to Bahamian. Organized a plane. We filled it with food and we filled it with medical supplies. There were some persons who said they were going to go with us. Then someone come and scare them. Some doctors scared them and said, "Oh, you got to get this shot and that shot, and you'll die if you go over there, and malaria and this and that and all kind of." I said, "Listen, man, there's some people running out of food right now, lying next to their houses in rubble. They are my black brothers and sisters. I am going to jump in this plane, and guess what? No one else came. Me, the pilots. I went on my own. Even there, they said, Lincoln, if you go, you could die. I jumped in that plane. Before we called the U.S. Army and said, hey, we coming down. The U.S. Army said, come, because I don't take no for an answer. The U.S. government don't own the airport in Haiti, so I told them I am coming. And they gave us a time and a schedule when to go and land. And we went there, we delivered the goods, and jumped on the plane, came back. When I landed, ZNS was there, news was there. Lincoln, Cuba Ingham said that he couldn't go. The whole prime minister of the country couldn't go. How did you get there? I don't take no for an answer. And when God sends me somewhere, I go. It was his job to open the door. I then spent about the next 2 years over there assisting and helping. I met some amazing people, some good people. There was one hotel there, Bill Clinton used to frequent that hotel. There was a hotel that was there. And when the earthquake happened, the owners, they were white foreigners, they jumped on a plane and they left. They got out of there. And their hotel was kind of destroyed. And when they came back, when they finally came back, months later, they thought everything would be gone. They had actual silver and gold spoons made out of silver, utensils. They had so much valuable stuff. They left the money in the safe. They just jumped and left because they felt it would get chaotic. When they came back, their staff, the Haitian staff, 100% Haitian staff, was there. Every sheet, every utensil, everything was in place. The money that was in the safe was all there. Those people didn't touch anything. And that hotel was renovated and able to reopen because there were some good people working for them. Haitian people. But then there are some others. And the problem is because they are coming unregulated on a boat and just jumping off, you don't know who is coming. And they're just coming, and politicians are being paid off clearly, and they're landing. And this is a different group in many instances. In some instances, there are good people coming on the boat, teachers and pharmacists, but there are some other people coming. And they are the kind like those who threatened. We don't want the Bahamas to turn into Haiti. And this is a message for my Haitian people living in the Bahamas. Many of you agree with me. And I'm reaching out to your humanity. You saw what happened in Haiti because of corruption, because of the gangs taking over, the kidnapping of business people. I left Haiti when the kidnappings and the protests got extreme. I saw the burning of the tires, the shooting of people with my eyes. I saw people being burnt in the streets. There was even a man who ate a man, took his flesh, and ate it in the streets as an insult. I was there. I'm not telling anyone what I don't know. I am telling people what I know. There are some Haitians, Chinese, Jamaicans, Americans who are welcome in our nation. We are concerned about the ones that are doing things like we discovered a few days ago. The cartel ones who are bringing drugs, bringing the guns, are killing our children every day. Crime is rampant, and the government isn't doing anything about it. Those ones. Those are the persons we are concerned about. So Haitian gang member, we don't have a problem with your Haitian mother, your Haitian auntie, or anyone who came here legally and they're doing what's right in the nation. We have a problem with those who are corrupting our nation. And if I must die for having a problem with that, then so be it. If you think that I am hateful because I am saying, don't destroy my country, then so be it. I don't talk about individuals. I'm not talking about personalities. I'm talking about the fact that y'all have destroyed. When I say y'all, again, I'm talking about the bad apples. Y'all have destroyed all of the trees in Cowpen Road area. Y'all who are now threatening me. And y'all were moving over to where we are. We were getting in your way. And I have a problem with the fact that, like a drug cartel, y'all could call politicians and tell them, get them Bahamians off that land. That y'all could have the balls to go put a gate to get rid of us. And when we stopped you, you call your politicians, and all of a sudden the police had a problem with us. That's what I have a problem with. And if I must die for that, then so be it. My conscience will be clear. I'm talking about the bad apples, not all Haitians. I'm talking about you who jump on a boat and come here illegally. And so much Haitians have applied for their permit and gotten their permit and came here the right way. Why do you insist on coming here illegally, jumping on our land, building whatever you want to build, and living in squalor? You see, Bahamas, I'm not talking to Bahamas yet. I continue to talk to Haitian people in the Bahamas. When your Haitian brothers and sisters go to Miami, y'all don't build shanty towns. Y'all don't live in shanty towns. Y'all live in an apartment. Y'all live in a house. Y'all don't live in shanty towns as polluting the groundwater, and you don't go to Miami and cut down their trees. Not a day like it. When you go to New York, you don't build no shanty town there. When you go to Canada, you don't build a shanty town. And if you came here for a better life, how is living in a shanty town a better life? How is that acceptable? Many of you don't want to live like that. Then choose not to do it right. That's all we're saying. But we're not going to let you destroy our forests like you destroyed the forest in Haiti. I'm going to show you a couple of videos before I continue and tell you the rest of what we found out. Some people said, oh, you didn't show, hey, you didn't have any evidence of Haitian burning down on the actual live that you did. We were investigating them for weeks. We actually do. I'm going to show you some stuff in a minute. Yeah, we caught them red-handed making coal in broad daylight. Everyone should know by now that Lincoln Bain doesn't open his mouth on any situation unless he has evidence and proof to back it up, and has confirmed and double confirmed accounts. They've never been able to ever challenge anything that I've ever said in 20 years of me in public life. We have the proof. But we're going to need some international help because our government, not just this PRP government, both of them, our governments have been bought out. That is why Loftus Roker said, when he started touching the Haitians, he got a call, leave that alone. From Finland. When Brian McCartney started touching nations, he got a call, leave that alone. From Ingram. When Fred Mitchell started touching the Haitians, remember? He got a call from Perry, leave that alone. The lady from the director of the forestry said that whenever they tried to go to stop the Haitians from doing what they were doing, she would get a call, leave them alone. We have received calls from immigration officers and police in Abaco saying that they want us to let the Bahamas know that they were given instructions by the politicians, instructions to leave the Haitians alone and let them do what they want. And so I speak to those who are in uniform, who carry a gun, but don't have the strength to speak for themselves. I'm willing to stand up and take the persecution. Haiti, the entire Haitian nation, their soil has been destroyed. They only have 2% of their land actually has trees. 2% of all of their land. Because they are cutting down the trees. There's some, and the video I'm about to show you, you're going to see there's some who are poor and they're cutting the tree to make a couple dollars, making the coal, etc. But then there are some who are millionaires. There are 800,000 millionaires in Haiti. You don't know that because they keep showing you the poor side or just focusing on the poor people. There are 800,000 millionaires in Haiti. Millionaires. Twice our population. And there are those of them who are making millions in the coal business. We've been investigating this. There are pictures and video of coal from the Bahamas landing in Haiti. But our government don't have no evidence. Our trees have been cut down for many years. There are some who are saying things like, oh, the Bahamians went there and cut down some trees, and now the Haitians are using those trees to make coal. That is a lie from the pits of hell. They've been doing this for decades. This did not just start. All of the fog that you've been seeing in that Carmichael Road area, what do you think that is? I'm going to show you what the scientist says. That is from the making of coal. It is dangerous. It is killing you. It's giving you cancer. It's giving you respiratory problems. It's giving your children asthma. Get to that in a minute. Stand with me, Bahamas. Stay with me. You're going to see some things today that stick with me. Let's show one of those videos that show, you just pick one, that show the situation.
Somewhere where this
in Haiti.
very situation has occurred. Haiti is on the island of Hispaniola, and it's the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. When we look at the watershed, it's apparent why. Haiti is severely deforested, with forests being cut to make charcoal for fuel. Haiti shares Hispaniola with the Dominican Republic. In the Dominican Republic, forest protections are put into place, and when we zoom into the border, we can literally see how the Dominican Republic side of the border is forested while the Haitian side is bare. On this satellite image, you can see how the clouds are formed over the forested Dominican Republic and missing from the barren Haitian side. This illustrates the fact that the presence of forests contributes to cloud formation. Atmospheric moisture and forests are part of the same system. In Haiti, an estimated 15,000 acres or 6,000 hectares of topsoil are lost every year. It's not just loss of soil, but the resulting flooding when all that stormwater comes rushing off of the bare hillsides. You can see on this satellite image where the soil is washing right into the Caribbean Sea. There are also densely populated areas where these waterways flow through cities into the sea. Now look at this image of what happens in a major storm event. Soil-laden floodwaters wash out parts of the city and spill precious soil into the Caribbean Sea. Without soil, you can't grow food. The food security and poverty in Haiti are connected to deforestation of the upper watershed, and we can see that same situation around the planet.
Lynn Johnson, and I'm a photographer, and I was in Haiti for On Earth magazine. Our mission was to try to explain what the current situation is in Haiti vis-a-vis deforestation. It was at one point, many, many years ago, a country covered with green and very diverse species of trees, hardwood. Now, when you look at the landscape, it's hard to even imagine that time. It's brown, it's gouged out. It's clearly a land that has been used beyond its capacity to provide. This is a wharf that's in Cité du Soleil. It's where all of the charcoal comes in that's been brought primarily from the northern part of the country. But you can see these
right
sailing ships.
Just pause that right there.
In.
Most of the Haitians who come from Haiti come from the north side of the northern part of Haiti. And the boats you're seeing there is boats that is bringing coal. And much of that coal is actually now coming from other countries, like the Bahamas. Is landing in the north and then being shipped by boat from the north to other parts. Cité du Soleil, I know it well. And so some of the coal that you are seeing is our trees that used to be in Cowpen Road or Carmichael Road. And it's gone. Continue. You can let the video continue.
Laden with enormous bags of charcoal. And those bags are everywhere. They kind of litter the wharf. They fill the buildings. You can tell how many people in the city derive their livelihood from the charcoal business. Gladys sells charcoal, and she was in a little sort of tin hut. Behind her were sacks of charcoal, and at her feet and in front of her was a mound of charcoal. And she had this beaten up little sort of, actually it was a kind of like one of those big coffee cans. I mean, she was soot from head to toe. And with her bare hands, she was, when someone would come up to buy a bit of charcoal, she would just put these fragments into the cup, into the can, and dump it into the person's bag, and that was the exchange.
There's a video from Vice that we sent to you. Do you have that? Okay, you can play this one. That's fine.
One by one, they fall. Macheted to the forest floor, these trees will be cycled into charcoal, furniture, building materials, boats, even brooms, crafted by Hemingway-esque artisans who work for hours in dilapidated shacks. The brooms sold for pennies. In Haiti, not a scrap of wood is wasted, a practice that has laid waste to a once beautiful, verdant tropical nation. Now home to an environmental catastrophe according to UN experts.
You can see things here that you might not see anywhere else in the world.
The UN's humanitarian coordinator in Haiti has seen the most troubled environmental spots on the planet, but says Haiti's uniquely horrible. With only 2% of its trees remaining, and 36 trees washed into the Caribbean each year. And all this environmental damage is doing great economic damage to the island nation.
It means that every year, people become even poorer, despite the effort, if you want, from the international community, their own effort, they slide further down.
Many say they have no choice. Hacking down the trees is their only way to survive, even though they know it's killing Haiti's environment. Marcellus Luis is typical that way.
The land is mine, and I have no other means.
The trees are burned into charcoal and used for cooking and to heat homes. In Haiti, gas stoves are too expensive and electricity a luxury. Black charcoal is everywhere. Sent into markets to fuel family shacks, roadside snack bars, and primitive restaurants. While millions create homes from trash and where sewage and food mix freely, environmental concerns are the realm of the privileged, foreigners, or workers. Everyone else is trying to survive. Georges Worley has watched the destruction of Haiti's environment for decades. He says, Green Island, he remembers.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Is there anything left to save in Haiti? Or has it already been raped and killed and put to rest environmentally?
We still have the people. And that's the challenge we have to confront right now.
But people, of course, cannot stand in the way of nature or stop mudslides that bury entire communities. No trees means those mudslides are nearly guaranteed when it rains here, and entire cities are vulnerable during hurricane season. Nearly half a year after 4 storms leveled one of Haiti's largest cities, Gonaïves, people are still digging out as the UN coordinates. Environmental damage extends to the sea as well. Haiti's coral reefs and marine life, once some of the most beautiful anywhere, are now devastated, pushing feeding fish away from fishermen.
We do worry about getting disease, but we're resigned to it. What else can we do?
Rodrigue Sabi says he can actually taste the difference in the fish they catch as conditions deteriorate.
There are fish that eat copper, and when we catch them and eat them, we get sick.
Fishermen like Rodrigue can spend up to 7 hours, and because the pollution is so bad, oftentimes when they do pull up these huge nets, the only catch of the day is dead fish. Haiti's prime minister tells World Focus she wants to save what little is left here, but corruption and little money hurt her efforts.
I feel responsible too, in a way, and if after the 2 years I'm supposed to spend here until President Préval's terms ends, it's still the same, I will feel very ashamed myself. Not that there will be miracles, but I think things will, that people live under those conditions.
Conditions that have become a permanent way of life for millions living among trash, eating food not fit for animals, and finding it harder and harder to survive as the trees they depend on are now nearly gone. In Gonaïves, Haiti, This is Benno Schmidt reporting for World Focus.
So as was upset the other day, I have in my neighborhood that actually produce coal. As you know, it's illegal to burn anything in any neighborhood, right? But coal is so much worse because it pollutes the air, causes respiratory issues. A clear example is my daughter. She at one point had to be on steroids for the simple fact that she was having respiratory issues because of the coal. I have industrial air purifiers in my house now that has become literally the standard. I cannot open up my windows as a result of it. So of course certain things go up. Electricity bill goes up because you have to burn air conditioning, etc. But it's not just my family. I've tried, I think, almost every avenue. I've called the police. I've had them in the back there. I've called the fire department. Thankfully, Cable Beach was probably the most efficient fire department. They came pretty quickly. They did an assessment, but unfortunately, there was nothing they said that they can do. I was told to call environmental health. I've called environmental health many times. One time, they told me I had to investigate myself, ironically. Second time, they told me that they were aware, and this was actually just aware of the situation, and there's nothing they can do but call the fire department. I've posted this to Facebook, I think in May of this year, because I just got fed up. I've tried to consult the MPs, so when Alcides was in office, we got nowhere. Vaughn Miller is now the MP for the area. That's a waste of time. The constituency office is never open. There's no way of getting in contact with them. It's a waste. I've had some personal friends of mine try to reach out to Rumi. That, once again, waste of time. Bahamas National Trust has been updated on this situation, once again, through actually persons that were concerned, friends, family members, whether it's tagging them or sending them personal messages that they updated me on. It's literally been a waste of time. I feel helpless. Literally, I feel helpless. Like, what am I having my daughter stay in the country for if I'm a legitimate Bahamian, but yet I can get absolutely no help from any of the different agencies that I've contacted that are supposed to be able to assist with this? I don't know. What is there to do? What else is there to do?
You can stop the videos now. I'll come in there. You can stop the videos now. You can pause the video.
Seem to be the only one around here speaking English, or he's going to translate. But apparently he knows about all the burning and everything that's in the back here. I think they only came in the back here because they saw my car park up. Stop burning right now, clearly. There's no department's doing anything about it, whether it be immigration, whether it be the environmental health. The police supposed to be here. I've already called them. I don't think they're coming right up to now because this probably isn't anything significant or that actually affects their own households. But every week this seems to be my new thing. I have to come in the back here to try to prevent another fire, smoke from coal burning.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do not hate Haitians or Jamaicans or Chinese or anyone. I would have a problem with Bahamians doing what these Haitian nationals are doing. I would have a problem with anyone, Americans or British, doing what these Haitian nationals are doing to our country. What is so ironic is that now it is spreading over to the Dominican Republic. If you fly over Haiti and the Dominican Republic is green and Haiti is brown. And that's because from cutting down the trees, there are no roots to keep the soil in place. So when rain comes, and Haiti is hilly, so their deforestation will be more devastating than ours because they're hilly. So when the rain comes, it goes downhill and washes everything straight into the ocean and the soil is gone. And so the problem they started to have is that they can't even grow regular crops. They can't even farm regular crops because the soil was being washed away. It led to mudslides where people are dying in the thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands. It led to all kinds of catastrophes, but they don't care. They are just trying. There are those who are doing it to survive, some of them who are poor, and then there are those who are greedy, like the ones here doing it. They're doing it as a multi-million dollar cartel is what they're doing. All right. And so this is what they have done. Let me tell you, they put a grant in place from about 2013. They put a grant in place giving the Haitians free money to stop cutting down the trees and just to grow plants. Because the only way to turn it around was to actually grow plants, like the Bahamians are doing in land that the Haitians have burnt or cut down and destroyed. Now, there were Bahamians who did cut down some land in recent times, okay? But this was going on for a long time, all right? And if you go there, you would see that those wood from where it was cut down is still there, all right? Now, the only solution the UN says is to plant crops that you can eat, to plant fruit trees. It's better than the pine trees, etc. that was there. The UN has said this, all right? And so you can go and research it for yourself. And so they gave them grants. You know what they did? They took the grants, the money from the grants, and they still did the coal. And so that didn't work. And so it continued to spiral down with them getting extra money to go bigger into business now with the grant money. So they didn't care about their own environment. And so you have about 1 million Haitian nationals living in the Dominican Republic. And that's why at one point they changed the law to say that even if you are Haitian national and you are born in the Dominican Republic to persons, to Haitian nationals, that you are not entitled to be a citizen. And they were sending persons home because it was getting out of control. What started to happen was there are Haitian nationals now living in the Dominican Republic who are doing deforestation there. And they are selling the coal at the border because Haiti is out of trees. Now they are buying, they do over, I think it's about 100 tons, I think, of coal a day, just in one market on the border. All right. And so those who are over there in the Dominican Republic are continuing it, and they are going to the border city where they allow a market, and they did that market to help out, Haitians, so they could buy stuff in the Dominican Republic that they can't get in Haiti. And so now they are selling coal at the border. They have a black market right at the market, but it's in the back where they're selling the coal. Vice did a whole video on it, so you can go look that up when this live is over. Vice, that appears on HBO, they did a whole documentary on it, so you can go and see that. And now this thing is spreading. So some Dominicans are doing it too to make money, selling the coal to the Haitians, but they are just selling out and destroying their nation. And so now they have to bring in coal from everywhere else, Dominican Republic, from wherever they can get it. And the easiest places to get it for them is the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. And so now what is happening, Bahamas, and you have to take this seriously. Now what is happening is that they are in New Providence making the coal. The Bahamians assisting them, like we always do. They are in Andres, burning down the forest and making the coal. They're in Abaco making coal. We caught them doing it on a previous video when we on our team visited Abaco. They were right in front of us doing it. They're in Elutra And they have come to take our forests. And once that's gone, it's gone. And so we have to decide if we're going to take this serious now and do something. You know why? The government is not going to do that. They actually want to get rid of me. I'm getting in the way of some of these politicians and their operation. There's an operation where they are cutting down trees, getting the quarry, which the government buys from them. So the government is involved in this conspiracy. They're digging up the quarry, and they're taking the trees when they cut it down, and they're making coal from the trees. The Haitians are partnering and working with them. The Haitians are on the tractors, digging the quarry, and they're partners, not just workers. They're partners, because they're going to come and destroy it. Oh, they're just innocent. The Bahamians doing it. And they said, no. They didn't have the heavy equipment. They're working with Ron Miller, who is Von Miller's brother. And they're clearing that area of trees and fill, destroying the forest. You heard me right. Von Miller. What is your connection to Ron Miller? Please answer the Bahamian people and let them know if you are related to Ron Miller, who is working with the Haitians, where they are destroying our trees and they're turning the area into a dump. Because they didn't get permission to do that fill and clearing, what they are doing, the Haitians are bringing garbage from the Haitian community. Remember when we stopped the truck full of trash and we turned them back because they were bringing that trash into that area? They were taking it to Ron Miller's area where he's cutting out the fill. And what he is doing is taking the fill, selling it to government to build the low-cost homes and to build the roads, and then he is replacing it with garbage that is totally destroying the environment. And you can go there now and see it. Replacing it with garbage and then putting some dirt on top of the garbage to cover up what has been happening. So now the area that is not classified as a dump is being polluted. Our water table is being polluted, and the government is going in there every single day, seeing the pollution, seeing the trash, seeing what is happening, but attacking me and attacking Bahamians. All we want to do is grow some plants and restore the ecosystem. We want to build what the UN calls a food forest. But they are dumping. Now they're setting up to do a car dump where they're going to bring derelict cars, and they're going to bring all these cars and bring them there. It's happening right now. Von Miller's people Ron Miller, please explain to us your relation, if any, to Ron Miller. Explain to us, the Bahamian people, the sensible Bahamian people, whose eyes are now opened. Explain to us, how is it that the police came 24 cars, 25 cars deep, with scores of police officers walking all around with machine guns into the farm where people are growing crops, and they could see that people are growing crops. If they get a call saying someone was cutting down a tree, they would be there with sirens. They would send Inspector Carroll to harass and unlawfully arrest persons for no reason. There's no proof, no evidence. The government admitted that there's no proof, no evidence of any wrongdoing. But we went on the phone and called the police. They didn't come. They said a patrol car came to the entrance, and because he didn't see us, they left. I guess there was no interest. They didn't drive around and look for us. Like when someone calls them and says, hey, they got a tractor in the back, they cutting down a tree. They came and left, allegedly. Not what, they didn't come the next day with their drones and their team and everything else to see what's going on. The Ministry of the Environment and Natural Resources never showed up. We called them. They know where that fill plant is because they went there a few weeks ago and looked around. So how is it you went there and didn't see? How is that? Now, we went there and we saw this huge multi-million-dollar operation. How is it that the ministry went there and didn't see a thing? This huge operation. You showed the entire Bahamian public that the government is culpable in this corruption because you only even show up. Bahamas, they ain't even show up. This days later, they still ain't step foot on that coal mining operation. And I had a chance to speak to some police officers in the station, in CDU, and other police officers who called me, and they are irate. They were hot because they see that police were told to go in the back there. These political prostitute police officers were told to go in the back there and harass Bahamians, harass them. Ministry of Environment came, had press conference. Oh, these evil Bahamians cut down the trees. These criminals are unlawfully clearing down land. And then came back and said, but we don't have no evidence of it. After calling my name, come back and say they don't have no evidence of it. But now, y'all want to kill me. Y'all want to kill me. I'm sorry, producer. I don't know if I sent you this particular video. Let's show, we're not going to show them all our videos because we're getting international help on this. We want the international community to see the persecution of Lincoln Bain, who is simply trying to open the eyes of their people and stop the devastation of our forests. We want the international community to see that I was unlawfully arrested a few days ago. And we're going to give them evidence of criminal elements saying that politicians were given instructions to have them take my guns back illegally so that I would be vulnerable. I want the international community to see that the Bahamian people are under attack, so that if something happens to me, the whole world will see that these criminals have come to take over. Producer, download that video I just sent you. And then we're going to play that. Because some people said that, oh, y'all didn't show them doing it. We have a lot of videos. We're going to show you this one because it doesn't show you everything we know. We're going to show you this particular one. One of our people went in, this is weeks ago, went in there, followed the white truck. Same white truck that was carrying the garbage before and we caught before carrying the logs, and all those videos we put out there where they were cutting down trees and burning and doing all this stuff. The same white truck with the same people, Haitian nationals, and she followed them in the back there. That is how she discovered exactly where they were doing what they were doing. And they there in their yellow shirts. Maybe I don't deserve to live because I'm getting in the way of these criminal elements. Maybe I don't. How dare you as a Bahamian think you could stop illegal immigrants from making millions in your country? How dare you, Bahamian? You are nothing. How dare you try to stop the politicians from getting their under the table money? Let's lock him up. A police officer said to me what bothered him was that after the video came out, the police were not allowed to go in the back there to investigate. Y'all saw it with your own eyes. One police officer said to me, boy, I was a PLP all my life, and you know I was a PLP. But this is the breaking point for me. I gotta be Bahamian now. He said, they didn't even just let us go investigate. He said, then he could have accepted. But they sent us after you. He said, even if environment had showed up or forestry had just showed up, BS the Bahamian people, just show up. You could accept that. But they even show up. No, not one. None of them. Forestry didn't show up. And I mean, they had some Bahamian people behind them listening to this nonsense about us doing something criminal, us doing something wrong. And all we trying to do is stand up for Bahamians. Produce, you have that video lined up, yeah? All right. We're not going to show you all our videos because we're going to give it to the international community because we can't trust our government. Because they're just trying to go after me and get me. This is how the area was discovered. Show them the area.
This truck is full of wood that they take from down in the back by us. This truck here, and I can follow them to see where they're going. Of pine wood. So what happened is they moved from the area where they was in. They moved these pine from in phase 3. So, and trust me, they rolling. They flipping, rolling. So here it is now. I behind them, and they know. This all the way back here, and I think this is where they get them limestone. Let me show you all what's going on with these Haitian. Let me show you all. This one track road here. This one new area. Now see ya. See ya. This a new thing now. This where they got it here. This in the back of the tractor man. Okay? This a new thing here. This they put in the back and cut the pine trees.
Where Lincoln is at this time. My fellow Bahamians, good morning.
So, yeah, don't show them anymore. Just leave it right there. You can leave the rest of our evidence. We got the pictures of persons making coal. We got the video of persons making coal. We got their image. We got their license plate. We have everything. We just wanted to wet your palates with that. We need help from the international community because our government is sold out and it's clear because they didn't show up. Instead, they tried to focus on me. The PLP did a smear campaign. They said, "Oh, Lincoln is going crazy." I mean, that was so entertaining. That was actually entertaining. Lincoln is going crazy. And the fact is, I am crazy about this country. I'm crazy about my people. I am. I love this country, man. Man, I could go park on the beach and have a beautiful day and feed the seagulls and push my foot in the sand. Did y'all see those pictures of Haiti? Haiti used to have beaches. Those beaches that you saw used to be just like ours. Look at that on the left. That's Haiti and the Dominican Republic on the right. Go research this. I have a country that I love and I want it to stay like this. That's all. That's all. My Haitian brother and sister in the Haitian gangs. Am I really wrong for not wanting my country destroyed? You don't want to live in Haiti. You, my Haitian brother and sister. You who threatened me. We have the voice note, we have text, please send the text. And voice note in Creole. You who threatened me, you don't want to live in Haiti. Why would you want to allow what has caused Haiti's environment to turn into what it is to start happening here? Am I wrong for standing up for that? I really seriously deserve to die for that. And I don't know whether I'm willing to deserve to, whether I deserve to die for that, but I know that I'm willing to die for that. Every time I remember going to the bonefish pond and playing with my kids, going to the beach and feeding French fries to the seagulls with my kids, I think that I don't want you to destroy the Bahamas for me. I want to take my adult kids there one day. I want them to push me there in a wheelchair one day when I'm the kid and they're the adult, and feed some seagulls with them in my clean country. What you did to Cirque du Soleil, all that mud and pigs and all that we saw there, Bahamas, that's what the bonefish pond is headed for. It's already begun. Coal is being mined on the bonefish pond. And we should have screenshot this to send you, but some of the investigation you have to do on your own too. There is some serious effects from the coal kills. What you're seeing there is on the bonefish pond, and that's the actual indoor Haitian flea market where they're selling everything. That's where they have the chicken fights. They're having the chicken fight right now as I speak. That's where they are, in huge numbers. Not one government official go in there. No, not one. I want you to do research of the effects of coal, the burning of coal, those kills. It gives people cancer. You saw the video of a Bahamian who said he was going through this for years. That video was from 2017. He has been trying to fight from 2017. He lives in the Golden Isles area. Other persons were going through the same experience. They didn't rally them up to fight against this. They shut them down and kept it quiet. So yeah, in some cases, go investigate it yourself. Bahamas, don't you all see what's going on? Is this really about Lincoln being? Some people say, "Oh, he just want power." Yes, I want power. I want power for my Bahamian people. I want my Bahamian people to be able to call the police and say, hey, some foreigners in my land destroying it, and the police show up. That's the kind of power I want. But right now, the legal immigrant has the power that when Bahamians make a complaint, they make a call and say, listen, lock that Bahamian up. Let's find something to get him for. And let's focus on him and not the problem. Let's call him crazy because of what he saw. Let's don't address what happened. That evening when it happened, Luby Judges contacted me. Luby Judges, that sellout, treasonous demon who lives amongst us. There was a time growing up I didn't even really know he was Haitian. I thought Luby was some kind of nickname. When he was going into the radio, I was the one who advised him and taught him what to do. And he said I inspired him, etc., etc. And him and Levin Miller did this talk show for Haitians, to promote Haitians on our radio, to promote their cause, to encourage this illegal activity, to encourage illegal immigration, to encourage illegal occupation. Him and Levin Miller. Another smart, talented young man. But he was Luby's sidekick on that show. Luby Georges contacted me. And he said, and this is Thursday at 11:08. He said, let's meet, bro. This thing is getting ugly. I don't like the let me see if I can read it through here. Let's meet, bro. This thing is getting ugly. Let's find a legal way and a humane way to deal with the issues. I'm not defending any wrongs of anyone. I agree that rules are being broken. I guess he means by the Haitians. He agreed they breaking the rules, but notice he ain't speaking out against it. He said, I agree that rules are being broken, but the Bahamas has laws and regulations in place to deal with what we see happening. However, I do believe that there are more humane and less hostile ways to address them. Can we meet? For the love of country. Luby Georges, you don't love this country. You need to get out of this country. You are encouraging these demonic acts. Again, I am not against all Haitians. You admit that there are Haitians here doing wrong. Secretly, you're saying it. Undercover. But going out there with Fred Smith and defending the wrong. Luby Georges, you said, yeah, they're doing wrong, but the government has rules and regulations to deal with that. Apparently they don't, because the government ain't show up yet. And y'all been covering it up. And government officials are being paid off. Immigration officers in Abaco are saying that they can't touch them. Police officers are saying, Lincoln, y'all get this word out. They're calling Kai Mills. Y'all get this word out. That instructions have come down to let them do whatever they want in Abaco. Rules and regulations. However, I do believe that there are more humane and less hostile ways to address them. More humane? We have not done anything to them. We have not been hostile. We have not run up in the Haitian village and done anything to them. We've not gone on Cowpen Road and grabbed the coal back and take it and say, y'all have no permit and y'all have no reason to be selling our trees. We have done nothing in response to them. Bahamians have treated them with love and kindness for all these years. When we're sitting up at A&E waiting to see the doctor and it's full up with foreigners, we don't complain, we sit and wait our turn. And our nurses and doctors assist them and bring them back to health for free. When the school classroom gets full up because the children of the foreigners are there, we don't complain, we find another school for our child. What hostility you're talking about? All we have said is the wrong has to stop. It's not against all Haitians. It's against the Haitians that are doing wrong, like you, Louis Georges. Like you. Not all. You. You do not belong here. Go say this publicly, that your Haitians doing wrong. Or you scared the gang come after you next. They can say you anti-Haitian because you saying that. But Louis Georges says that the Haitians are breaking the rules. The Haitians are doing wrong. Is the Haitian gang going to threaten him? Are they going to kill him? No? Oh, I didn't think so. And he said, can we meet for love of country? For love of country, you should tell your Haitian people to stop burning down our forests, cutting down our trees, and making good. If you love this country, you're meeting with me because you love this country. So I responded to him. He said, can we meet for love of country? I said, if we can see that. I said, sure, when? He said, I'm open to your schedule. Remember that statement, I'm open to your schedule. I said, you can come in the morning to see the coal mine and talk. I tell him, come to the scene of the crime. Come to the coal mine and talk. Since you're so concerned for love of country. He said, I want to meet with you first, and then we go from there, if that's okay. You want to meet with me first? Meet with me where the problem is. He said, I'm willing to also go live and decry the deforestation, but would like to meet one-on-one to discuss that and other matters, and then we can proceed. So Louis say he's willing to go live and decry what the Haitians are doing. Y'all see him going live yet? Y'all see him going live yet? All he did was go on social media after this and start attacking us, attacking me, him and his sidekick. Leave it. He started talking about how I was holding the gun. Nothing about the coal mine, the destruction, the water table now black. Cutting a tree don't make the water table black. Making coal and putting cancerous materials into the atmosphere makes the water table. In the atmosphere and into the water table makes it black. That's what does it. And so I'll read the rest. He said he's willing to go live and decry what these Haitians are doing. Oh, but he ain't gonna say that publicly because I guess they could threaten him too. I said, so you want to meet before 9 a.m.? Because that's what I had said. We was going 9 a.m. back to the coal mining area to go deal with that and show the media, etc. So if you will meet me, you got to meet me before 9 a.m. and then we could go to the gold mine. So he said, that won't work due to my obligations with my kids and dad, but anytime after 11. I said, I'll let you know. Don't know how long I will be at the scene of the crime. The scene of the crime. He said, okay, you have my number and can call me on Messenger or WhatsApp. We'll look out for your messages or call. I called him, he didn't answer. So Louis Georges agreed that the Haitians are doing wrong, that they are destroying the forest, etc. They're making the coal, but he will not stand up against them. He will not say a word about it. He knows about it. He will not come to the scene. Instead, they go on social media talking about me holding a gun in the bush, where right next to it is a shooting range that the police and defense force use and civilians. Where no one was in danger. No word on how they are actually polluting our water table. I want to read some of this research that we did to you. I'm sorry, let me see if I could get to this without disturbing the broadcast. But I want to read
Please stay with us. Lincoln Bain will be back shortly. He's just getting some information that he wants to share with the Bahamas.
out there for a minute there. But I really wanted to see the health, you to see the health. I was trying to get it so it could go on the screen, but we weren't able to do that. I'm sorry about that. But I want you to understand the serious health risks that we are putting our Bahamians in. I really want to read some of this to you. It's important that you realize the kind of danger that we're in as a people. I'm sorry, you will have the blank. One more second. Just give me 1 second. Okay, I was trying to get some information on the screen for you, but I am just gonna, I'm gonna let you know this. There are some dangerous chemicals that is as a result of coal and what they are doing that goes into the atmosphere. I've done the research. I was trying to get it on the screen for you. One of them is from coal is sulfur dioxide. It is produced when sulfur and coal reacts with oxygen, SO2, combines with other molecules in the atmosphere to form small acidic particles that can penetrate human lungs. It's linked to asthma, bronchitis, smog, and acid rain. You see the smog that you would have in that Michael Road area. Let's see if I got any more. Carbon monoxide comes from this into the atmosphere. Volatile organic compounds, arsenic will now get into our water. It causes a lot of health issues, including trying to get these out for you, but I can't get it on the screen. A lot of health issues, including cancer. And so all of you are breathing those smoke. You worry about a tree getting cut down. A tree getting cut down is not going to cause cancer. The kills that is making that coal is causing things that includes heart disease, heart problems, respiratory problems, cancer, asthma, other serious effects you've been suffering from in the Coral Harbor area for many, many years. We'll post some more information for you. So hopefully Luby will go live and talk about the Haitians that are doing the wrong and say that they are doing wrong and encourage them to stop. Hopefully he will go and talk to the Haitian gang members who are now saying that they're going to kill Lincoln Bain because he's getting in the way of the money. Hopefully he will talk to the police officers who are getting instructions from politicians who have been paid off to attack Lincoln Bain. To come and take my firearms, to come and lock me up, to find something on me. Hopefully that will be what Luby George has done, because we've heard nothing. Luby said he's tuned in. Thank you for tuning in, Luby. Maybe you should call in on the WhatsApp and let's hear what you have to say about what is going on, about these people saying that they want to kill me, about these people killing us slowly, increasing the cancer rate and we don't know. In that same area, Luby, in that same area, our water table, we had to stop getting water from that area and started going to Andres to get water. And so people are talking about the Bahamians cutting down trees was somehow going to hurt the water table. Cutting down a tree doesn't hurt the water table, but making the coal does. But before this, when the Haitians were living there, they were stooling in the water because the well fields is an open, long trench. These are long trenches that are just open. Long trenches, probably about this wide, that goes for miles. This what you're seeing here is a well they have there by in the well fields where the Haitians are making coal. Look at the color of the water. Look at the color of the water. Black. And if you dig another hole around there, the water will be black. Why was the government attacking us? Answer, Luby, I'm going to call you. Answer. Let the Bahamian people, you say you tuned in, answer. Let the Bahamian people hear from you. Call in Luby. Come in, Luby. Come in, Luby. Luby declined the call. See? Huh? Luby. Playing dominoes? Luby said he declined the call playing domino. Lots of noise here. I don't care. Answer the phone in the noise. Walk off. Where you are, you in the, if it's lots, you said you watching this. How you watch this with not lots of noise? You say you watching it. Put the phone to your ass. No, I'm not texting you. I want you to talk to the Bahamian people. You say you watching this. You tuned in. So clearly ain't that much noise. You talk to the Bahamian people. I mightn't be around much longer because your people say they want to kill me. So we got to have this conversation now. No answer, Luby? No answer. Yeah, talk English. Luby, how you doing?
I'm good. What you said?
I am right here, man. It's actually good to hear your voice and the Bahamian people listening. Luby, your people are making coal in Cowpen Road.
Hold on, Lincoln. Let's back up a minute there.
Mm-hmm.
That your people part of it.
Yeah.
No. If you're going to say that there are Haitians out there making coal, cool. But let's not start with the your people stuff because that's part of the problem.
Luby Georges. There are Haitian people making coal in the Cowpen Road area and on the well fields, the water well fields and in the pine forest. They are cutting down our trees and they are totally decimating that area and polluting the area. What do you have to say to your Haitian people who are doing that?
But again, Lincoln, let's fix the statement, let's fix the phrase. Stop that. You and I are brothers. You and I have known each other since about 2006.
No, way before that.
Way before that. You and I have a personal relationship. Exactly. You and I have a personal relationship. You're a bit older than me, but however, you are one of the individuals when I first got into media, along with Utah and others, that I worked with. So we have a personal relationship from GQ Barbershop and go on. So you know me personally, and you and I have had multiple conversations where I've tried to correct you on some of the terminology that we should use.
Okay, you don't have time to talk about terminology. You clearly running from the issue. Whatever the terminology needs to be, you make that the terminology.
Lincoln,
whatever the terminology needs to be.
I'm not Lincoln.
Yeah.
Lincoln, I'm not going to play politics. I'm not trying to play politics. If you want to deal with an issue, let's deal with an issue.
Why did you bring up politics? No one here talking politics.
Lincoln, you called me impromptu. This was not scheduled. You called me out of the blue. I told you that I was in the midst of something at an event. You called me a second time because
so you ain't answered, and that's what you're saying. Man, listen, the Haitians making coal and destroying our forest.
Listen what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We can talk about the Haitian people, but when you choose to say my people, then that's an issue.
Didn't you hear me correct that? Why are you still hopping on that? Because you're running from the issue.
Because when you rephrased the question, you came back on it again. You said the exact same thing again. So let's try to not include that in that and try to make it.
You spent all this time talking about that when you know exactly what I mean.
I have time. Hey, Lincoln, it's not about what you mean. It's not what you do, but how you do it. It's not what you do, but how you do it. And you know that. All right? Here's the deal. The issue with coals and the deforestation, the issue with coals and the deforestation is one that I do not stand for. I just came off the phone about 2 hours ago with a Haitian businessman who called me and said, guess what? The embassy, the so-called leaders of their community, and I'm saying their community because I'm a Bahamian citizen. So that's why I will not accept for you or anyone else to come on and to try to push this issue and to push things as if I am a Haitian. I'm not a Haitian. I'm a Bahamian first and only a Bahamian. So let's move forward. Let's move forward. No, let's get that straight. Let's ensure that we get that part straight. Now we can push forward. The issue of deforestation, the issue of illegal mining or illegal coal manufacturing, any illegal activity, irregular migration to the Bahamas from time to memorial, before I came on and since I came on the scene. And you've worked with me privately, Lincoln. You and I have had private conversations. You know that I do not condone. You know that I do not stand for anything that is illegal happening in this country.
Then why don't you state that publicly? Well, there are.
Lincoln, may I, please?
Go ahead.
May I? You since came on the stage, and listen to what I'm saying to you. You since came on the stage, right, and on the scene, and you have highlighted a major issue. Listen to what I'm saying to you again. As an example, I just came off of the phone about 2 hours ago with a Haitian businessman, a prominent Haitian business person in this country who feels bad about the situation because what he's saying and what other Haitians are saying who are trying to live by the rules, who are trying to do as the Romans do in Rome, as the Bahamians do in the Bahamas.
Yes.
Right? Said to me that it looks bad because then when his children or when he go out there in the public domain, persons are going to treat him or maybe treat him a particular way because they're going to see that he's a Haitian. Why? Because we have Haitians in the Bahamas that are doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Right? We have Haitians that are doing the wrong thing. I reached out to you the other day and I told you that I would like to have a sit down with you so that we can talk about the issues and we can seek avenues to highlight it further and to address it. Now, only because you are a friend, only because you are my boy, you call me impromptu, but you live.
Yes.
Before the nation. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the show, which direction the show took, but I answered your call.
Yeah, you told me you was
I'm not going
tuned
to
in.
allow myself to be, that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to allow myself to be pushed in a corner. That is one. But however, Lincoln, I will say this emphatically. I will say this again. I do not support any of that BS that is going on out there. And I call upon the authorities to deal with it, to address it. If anyone is found to be breaching the laws of this country, that person or those persons should be arrested. They should be charged according to whatever the books and our laws say regarding that particular issue, and bring it before the courts, and those individuals should then be allowed to place before a justice or a magistrate or a judge and allow that judge to bring down justice upon them and bring forth justice for the Bahamas and the Bahamian people. I do not condone anything.
So are you willing to stand up right now and tell those Haitian nationals, and I know the Haitian nationals, I spoke to some of them, who are doing that to stop?
Lincoln, go on my page. Facebook translates. You would see a few days ago when you had the issue with the gun and all of that that sent everyone crazy, right? You would see on my page that I wrote to the Haitian community, and there's countless comments on my post where I posted in Creole about some foolishness that some people are doing that will cause it to be bad for everybody else. Because you do have, and this is what I hate, the fact that because there are a few bad apples out there, or there are bad apples out there, we don't know how many, because there are bad apples out there, you find that then there is a picture painted on the entire bunch. And so I posted on that in Creole to speak to them. I just spoke to, again, a prominent Haitian business person about 2 hours ago. 2 days ago, I spoke to an individual that would deem, that the most would deem to be a leader or a voice in the Haitian community. But he addresses them and does post things like anything that comes out in the news, COVID pandemic, whatever it may be. He allows them to know what's happening in the country. He and I spoke just last night at a Haitian restaurant. He is ready. He is willing to start moving and getting out into the community, into the informal settlements, and speaking to the issues that we see, which would include deforestation, which would include the illegal coal industry. All right. But what I would not accept what I would not take part of is this broad painting that says Haitians, boom, outright.
Hold on, Luby. Let me correct you there. Luby, hold on. Luby, go back and watch the beginning of this live, and you will see that I made that clear that they are very good Haitians, and we're not addressing those Haitians. I gave examples.
Lincoln, to your credit, Lincoln, like I said, somebody that is in Switzerland, by the way, sent me the link to notify me that you're live. Now, mind you, yesterday or day before, or whenever you posted it that you would go live today, I did see that post. But because I'm in the midst of an event, I did not recall or did not have any notifications to tune in from the beginning, or I don't know how long you've been on air, by the way. But somebody sent me the link, and then I tried to tune in, but I was still unable to tune in properly because, again, I'm at an event.
Okay, so how about that? How about that?
I'm giving you credit, so I don't know what you would have said in the beginning.
Right.
And so if you would have highlighted the fact and mentioned that, hey, there are good Haitians out there, kudos to you for that. And I would encourage you to continue to push that, the fact that, guess what? Yes, we have these ones that are doing BS.
But let me tell you what we need in that same vein. We need the ones who say they are good Haitians, all right, to stand up against those who are doing wrong. Just like I expect the good Bahamians to stand up against and speak out against the Bahamians who are killing people on the street and doing the wrong, I expect you guys who say y'all are the good people, I expect y'all to stand up. How about this? How about me, you, that businessman, and whoever else you got, go in the Haitian village and speak to them about the coal mining and educate them on what they're doing to the environment and tell them to stop. And we need to do it before your people try to kill me, eh?
See again.
I was teasing you with that. Come on, man. Come on. We need to do it before these people who have threatened me start to take their action. How do you feel about that? How you feel about these fellas saying they kill me because I get in and weigh their money?
Well, again, I don't feel good about anyone threatening anybody. Okay, I was born and raised in Camp Road, so I know what violence is, Lincoln. So I don't stand by that. I have friends, Bahamians and Bahamians of Haitian descent and Haitians, Jamaicans, who I've known since the day that I've known myself, who've died, who've lost their lives, whose families and children are suffering today, are grieving today because of violence in our country, which is another issue that we need to get a handle of. All right? So I don't take lightly to that. And if anybody has threatened you, then we need to condone that. And we need to find avenues, ways to...
You talk about words.
Sorry. Not condone that. And we need to find ways and avenues to deal with such issues, because that should not stand. No one should be threatening anyone, especially in paradise.
And Luby, as a Haitian national, as a Bahamian of Haitian descent, as a Bahamian of Haitian descent who grew up knowing me, you know that I don't hate Haitians. You know that. I never treated you in any kind of discriminatory way. All right? You also know that when that earthquake happened in Haiti,
Lincoln, you've done business in Haiti.
Yes, you know that when that earthquake happened, that I went there and helped. The Haitian community didn't have the balls that I had to go down there and assist their people. I led the way.
But anyway.
No, I'm talking about to start it out. Everyone had their hands closed and didn't know what to do. After I did it and came back, then Kawainas and other people started to say, oh, we can go. And I caused that door to be open and for thousands of people to be able to get assistance because I led the way, because I don't hate people. I put my money where my mouth was, Luby. I went to Haiti before you. And when you were going, I guided you.
When was that again?
When you were going to Northern Haiti for the first time. You talked to me before you went.
No. You and I spoke about my trip to Haiti. I've been going to Haiti since I was a child. So, and Northern Haiti is where my parents are from. So I'm very well acclimated with the northern part.
We can leave that alone. I said that to say. I said that to say the initial part I said. was that I showed love to the entire nation of people, and I led our nation into assisting them. I led the way and opened the door.
And guess what? I will do this right now and give you credit for that, because I do remember during the time of the earthquake, the greatest mass devastation or catastrophic natural event that happened in Haiti, where more than 300,000 lives in one day or in less than an hour were lost. You did, Lincoln, and people need to know that. You did. You did put your money where your mouth is. You did go to Haiti. You did spend your money, and you did assist in bringing relief to the Haitian people. I agree with you 100% because I know of that, because I know you personally. You understand? I know you personally. But again, let's get back to the crux of the issue that you're dealing with.
I think we need to get together, and we need to hit those Haitian communities, and we need...
Lincoln, I reached out to you. I reached out to you the other
day. So I'm telling you now, you did. And I've already let them know you reached out to me. Now I'm telling you what we need to do. This is not just meet and talk. We need to go into those Haitian communities. We need to stop the coal mining.
Lincoln, let's not make it seem as if it's going to be just a meet and talk. I said to you, let's meet. Let's talk. You and I haven't spoken with each other since maybe before the campaign trail.
Yes.
If we want to be honest. Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, let's meet, let's sit down, let's talk. I can bring other players to the table. Let's bring the cards to the table. You present your findings. Maybe there are things that you know, that you've discovered, that guess what? These so-called pastors, maybe the Haitian embassy, or other leaders of the Haitian community, they may not be aware of. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you've delved deeper. You've gone deeper. You've went further, Lincoln. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying now, let's come to the table, let's sit down, let's talk, let's present the facts, let's present the findings, and let us now discuss the avenues in which we can take to bring a resolution to the issue.
That is what we're going to do. That is what we're going to do.
What, Lincoln, in my message to you the other day, what did I say? I said, listen, let us meet.
Yes, you said let's meet and talk. I invited you to the scene of the crime.
Bring what you have to the table. I told you it would not have worked for me because I had other engagements already arranged. So it would not have worked for me the time that you had arranged.
That's fine.
So what I'm saying to you is, I'm still open to meeting with you. I'm still open to sitting with you. I'm still open to inviting other persons from the Haitian community that I may know of that can lend their voice, their strength within their community, and I'm saying again, their community, to come on board and to hear what you have to say. And then we push for, and then we try to find some amicable solution to the issues that we face today. Again, I will say this, I, Ruby Georges, do not support deforestation. I, Ruby Georges, do not support any illegal activities. You know me, Lincoln. And you can vouch for me, Lincoln. You know that I've always only ever been about the human rights of individuals. Human rights as a human being, just by virtue of being born. There are certain treatments that you are that are reserved for you as a human being. That's all I've ever been a part of. Somebody enter the country irregular or through some illegal means, arrest them, charge them, detain them, take them before the court, deport them, send them back home. I support due process. The rule of law and due process is what I support and what I'm about. And so any sit down that I do with any individual, I don't care who it is, we're going to sit down, present the facts, and let us discuss what the law say. Let us discuss what the recourse may be, or the recourses may be, the resources also that are available to us by law, and let's push forward. If we need to write to this one or that one, let's do it. If we need to set up meetings with the authorities, let's do that. If we need to go to the Haitian embassy, let's do that. If we need to call the Haitian media in Haiti, let's do that. If we need to speak to the Haitian Prime Minister, let's do that. If we need to speak to the Prime Minister of the Bahamas, let's do that. So what I'm saying is,
I will tell you this.
Let's discuss what is needed to be done.
And I will tell you this in front of the whole Bahamas. I am declaring war on the illegal making of coal in this country. I'm declaring war on that. And that means that we are going to stop This is a legal activity. And I know some people are making millions of dollars doing it, but we can't lose our country to make a few people wealthy. And so I'm declaring war on that. And so whatever, by any means necessary, we are going to stop that activity. There are people who are in hospitals suffering. We showed a video of a father who has a daughter who had respiratory disease because of the cold making. He's gone there taking videos, showing it happening, and the authorities are being paid off. You need to decry the bribery that is going on in this country, but we're going to sit down and talk, and we're going to come back to the Bahamian people with solutions. Go ahead.
Well, Lincoln, again, with the proliferation of gun violence and murder in our country as the result of illegal firearms and guns and everything that's going on, I'm not going to say publicly, and I will not say to you privately that I'm going to declare war on anybody and to say that any means necessary, because I do believe that our country, that we do have rules, we do have regulations, we do have avenues in which that we can deal with these sort of things the right way. And so we can sit down, we can talk, but I'm not going to say to you or anybody else by any means necessary, because those out there in the public, it may be misconstrued, and they may think—
I did not say declare war on any individuals. I said on the illegal making of coal. That's what I said.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not saying to what you said. I'm trying to make sure that what I'm saying is
not
clear to
misconstrued.
everyone that is listening. And listen to what I'm saying again. I don't want myself to be misunderstood out there. Not for you. You understand where I'm coming from. But there are persons that may misconstrue what someone may say and take it as what they want and do something else with it. So again, I am saying that I'm not going to go to that length to declare war and to say any means necessarily, because then people may think that may mean something else, and you are willing to go there and grab guns and shoot and do this. No, I'm not. No, sir, not me. But I'm willing, Lincoln, with the resources that may be available to me, with the network that may be available to me, with the ears that may be available to me to hear and to be willing to sit down, because I may be present to bring that to the table to discuss the issues in the right way.
Yeah, Luby, enough is enough, and we got to fix this country. Those illegal immigrants, we got to deal with them, and we're going to deal with them. Those making coal and destroying our environment, we're going to deal with that situation. All right?
I think you've heard me say the exact same thing throughout this entire—
I just said, I ain't coming to talk. I come in to take action. Just so you know that. This illegal situation has to stop. Right. And the problem in this country is the bribery and the paying off of public officials to the point where—
deal with illegal issues the legal way. And that is what I support. Dealing with illegal issues the legal way.
Oh, I support that too.
That is what I'm trying to push. Dealing with illegal issues the legal way, the right way. Doing the right thing because it is the right thing to do. Not just because you want to do it. Doing the right thing because it is the right thing to do.
All right, done.
Push that message.
Thank you for talking. We'll have a talk later.
All right, man, take it out.
All right. That was Luby Georges. For anyone who is watching this or who just tuned in, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I don't have time for talk. Haiti has destroyed its forests. And when I say Haiti, I mean those who are doing wrong in Haiti. Everyone in Haiti don't make coal. All right? Those who decided to destroy their country, entire country, where it's difficult to grow food now because they destroyed it and didn't care, just to make a couple dollars. Or for greed, for those who are wealthy who are doing it. And now it's spreading to the Bahamas because all their trees are gone. Can you imagine that huge nation? All their trees are gone. They have 2% trees. 2% of their land mass has trees on it. They destroyed it. Totally destroyed it. Now they have moved to the Bahamas and they've already started. And Bahamas, we got to stand up, man. We got to stand up. We got to stand up. And no matter what happens to me, y'all got to carry this on. We got to stand up. I don't even think I'm scared of these people. Because if I was, I wouldn't be here doing this. Some people say, oh, he's doing this for political reasons. If I was doing this for political reasons, I wouldn't have been saying the things I'm saying. These are not politically expedient things to say. To go after a group of people who are a large block of our voting population. I would be pandering to them like Brave Davis administered them. I'm not pandering to anyone because I'm worried about our people, my Bahamian people. That's where my concern is. I'm concerned about our country and our nation because they could go back to Haiti. We ain't got nowhere else to go. So if I was doing this for political reasons, I would have been sucking up and lotioning them and telling them I'm one of them, but I'm not one of them. I'm a Bahamian, born, bred Bahamian, and it's time for action. And if y'all want to kill me because I said, listen, we can't do this to the water table. You also have black water. You also they doing in Kalani. That's actual destruction. We can't have this in our country, man. We can't have this. Enough of this is enough. I see some text of people saying, stop wasting time talking to Louis Georges. No, you have to let people hear what the other people are thinking also. Look at that water. Look at that water. See, I want people to hear. I don't have a problem talking to people who agree or disagree with me. I believe in freedom of speech. Let them hear. I don't expect him to agree with me because whether you agree or not, I know we have a country to save, and that's what this is about. And I'm calling on every single Bahamian out there. Join us on Friday. Let's take a stand. Let's show them that we are willing to stick together as a people. My only concern is my Bahamian people. There are still enough of us left to save this nation. Our politicians have sold out. You see how they locked me up? The police officer literally, we looked at the law. We stand up in front of the station looking at the law. And he said, yeah, according to this, you haven't committed a crime. But man, the politicians calling. We looked at the law, which says you don't have no right to hold my guns, not even for 1 second. The law doesn't allow that. But only this section 38 of the Firearms Act, only a magistrate can order your gun to be seized or your certificate to be seized if you have committed a crime and were convicted of a crime. Even while the crime is going on, while the trial is going on, you are presumed innocent. So they cannot take your gun while it's going on. If you are convicted of a crime, then the magistrate can order your gun be taken. Section 38 of the Firearms Act. He looked at that and he said, yeah, but politicians. Sounds like a lawsuit. The police cannot break the law because something happened that they don't like. You can't say, you know, I don't like how this fella drove his car today, so we're going to take his car. There's nothing in the law that allows you to take his car. You can't say, oh, this fella ran a red light. Man, take the car from him. Take the car from him. Run red light? No, if his car is licensed to be on the road, it's insured to be on the road, give him a ticket. If he did something wrong. If he didn't run the red light, then you leave him alone. You have no right to even pull him over. In doing your duties, even the police, you have to abide by the law. And I don't like the stress of police because I was there one time. I know how the politicians call and they interfere with the police and that kind of stuff. But why be a puppet? If you know that this is a Bahamian standing up for Bahamians, standing up for our rights, trying to make our Bahamians be able to own our land, trying to stop our country from being destroyed by some people who just trying to make a bunch of money, who are doing illegal activity to make a bunch of money. Why would you obey them when you're hearing that there's a plot to kill him? Why would you assist them in that? Why would you assist them? Ladies and gentlemen, Luby say he want to talk. I don't mind talking to anybody, but I don't have no time for talking. You know, more cool mining production going on in that area. And we need to get into the Cowpen Road area because there's some people who are suffering, like the video you saw with the young man. They're Bahamians who suffering, man. And you could tell me it's okay because you want to make some millions of dollars to give someone cancer for you to do that. That's murder. That's murder. And all they know is they get cancer. They don't even know where it comes from. No cancer in their family, but they live in that area. I challenge the government to look in that area, in that Golden Isles area, in the Cowpen Road area, and see if the cancer rate has increased in that area. See if the cancer rate is elevated. I challenge the government to do that. What gives you the right to give someone a respiratory illness, to give someone heart disease, and this other stuff that comes from all the chemicals that's involved with coal mining, to poison the water, put arsenic in the water? You know arsenic is poison? That's literal poison. But you're worried about a tree falling down, affecting the water table. But not one member of the police force or the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources showed up. Shane Gibson, I need you to answer the Bahamian people whether you are partners with Ron Miller in that mine that's going on in the back there. Shane Gibson, I need you to answer that question, please. Right? Answer that for me. Thanks. I'll await your response. We need to know what politicians are involved, because clearly the police were saying that calls were coming from politicians directly to illegally arrest me. The criminals were sharing information that they were going to make the government take my gun so that they could then kill me. I could be vulnerable. This is a movie. You couldn't even write this in a script. But let me tell you all this. I'm Lincoln Bain, the son of Henry Bain, the son of Michael Bain, the son of Charles Bain, the son of William Bain. I am a born, bred, 10th generation Bain. And I'm going to stand up and fight for this country. And I'm calling every Bahamian who is fed up, who now sees what's going on, who saw the press conferences where they called us all manner of things, where they talked about all this illegal activity, and it was so important to them. And all of a sudden, their talk changed. We were criminals. We're doing wrong. They were supposed to deal with us. Then they come back, but there's no evidence. Because we were doing nothing wrong. We possessed the land in the same way that crown land was being possessed from time immemorial. Possessed the land, applied to the government. We did everything the right way. Everything. And then, when we showed you the evidence and the proof, and we have more evidence and proof, we didn't expose everything yet. There are politicians who are involved with this operation. That is why the police were told, don't go in the back there, don't touch it. The media is compromised. Do you know that our news was in the back there with us for hours? They interviewed. If you look at the live, you will see them. When I was doing the live, I was talking to our news and the Guardian. Our news and the Guardian ain't touched the story. They rode with us in the trucks. They looked at everything. They looked at Lake Kalani Block. They looked at all the coal. They heard the story. Those young people worked hard and did an amazing job filming everything, documenting everything. And when they got back to base, someone told them, we ain't touching this story. And I really want to thank those two reporters. You did an awesome job. It's not you. You filmed, you interviewed, you got the facts of our country being destroyed, but you are working for some sellout demons who would prefer to see this country destroyed rather than stand up for the Bahamian people because of political involvement and corruption. Thank you, news reporters who showed up. But your owners and managers who told you not to run that story, they are the problem with this country. Political cronies are the problem with this country. They will defend anything their government does, whether it's right or wrong. And if any Bahamian can tell me that it is right to attack Bahamians who are growing vegetation, which the UN said is the way to restore Haiti, grow fruits and vegetables on the same land. That's what they said. So research it for yourself. We are doing that. So where the Haitians burned it down, we are growing there now. Where they cut down, we are growing there. That's what the UN said to do. But the media doesn't want the truth out because these people are corrupt and there are people being paid and they're willing to kill me to silence me. All I had from the police today was about me in protective custody or some nonsense. Listen, if y'all would arrest me illegally when I did nothing wrong, when you had no right to arrest me, you think I trust to go in your custody? Never. If y'all would hold on to my guns illegally, totally against the law, because instructions came down to do so from the Haitians who are legally doing this to the politicians to y'all, I must go in your protective custody. My foot. Not in this life. If y'all would take my liberty illegally, y'all would take my life illegally. So go and get your two Haitians to lie and say I shot at them. There is a God, and he does not sleep. Do whatever you must do, but as long as I know that I am doing right, I have nothing to fear. Ladies and gentlemen, I will say this to you. I will say this to you. All the time Martin Luther King was fighting for civil rights, for us to be able to go in the same bathroom, go in the same restaurants, go to the same school. They ain't kill him. They ain't touch him. 5 years after that civil rights bill, almost 5 years, came to being, he changed his thoughts. He started realizing that we got swing. It is economic power we should have had. The economic power we should have been fighting for. Because, yeah, they can tell you could go to the school now, but they moved to the suburb where you can't afford the property, and they put the good schools there, they price you out. They ain't gonna put you to the back of the plane now, but they could price you out of the front of the plane. They could price you out. They got their own their own restaurants that you can't afford to go to. They ain't into your restaurants. They could price you out. You realize that we fought for the wrong thing. And it should have been economic empowerment. The minute he started fighting for economic empowerment, that's when they killed him. That's when they killed him. Marcus Garvey was fighting for economic empowerment. actually doing it by our people, and they put a fake fraud charge on him, locked him up for fraud, and deported him. Biggest black movement in history, one of the biggest movements in history, 5 million members coming together to own shipping companies, to own restaurants and gas stations. Black people had shares in this stuff. They said, no, these black people are getting too powerful. Let's go lie on him and get him out of the country. And that's what they do. It's been happening from time immemorial. And so for change to happen, someone has to sacrifice. There's no great change that ever happens without someone having to sacrifice. I'm willing to be that sacrifice, but I'm calling on every Bahamian to stand up. I'm willing to take the persecution. I'm willing to take the blows. I'm willing to be called crazy. I'm willing to call anything that they're willing to call me. But in the end, I just want us as a people to prosper. That's it. That's all I want. Why can't we as Bahamians own this country? Why can't we? Why do we have to go through hell to own a piece of crown land? Every other country that has crown land gives it to their people willingly and freely. Not to political cronies, to their people. Canada, you have a process, you apply, you have a use for it, it's yours. Australia, they have a process, you apply for it, you use it, it's yours. England, you apply for it as a regular process, you apply for it, and they don't sit down and wait 30 years and 20 years till you die. They give it to you. Turks and Caicos. Every single Turks and Caicos islander who ever applied for crown land got it in quick time. Immediately. You apply, it's yours. Every islander. And they don't have as much as us. But what our country is doing is they're cutting our crown land, the bad parts, the swampy parts, into little 50 by 100 blocks, putting a shabby house on it that's going to fall apart, that don't make no sense, going to start cracking, that's poorly built, and then selling it to us, 200 grand. By the time you finish paying that with all the fees and everything else, you could pay 400 to 500 grand. Well, if it's 200 grand, definitely 500 grand. Go do the maths. But it's low cost. Bahamas, wake up. I need y'all to stand with me. Show me that I'm not a lone voice crying in the wilderness. Show me that I don't need to just jump in the plane and just go. Show me that this makes sense. Show up on Friday. Wear black. I'm going to post on my page a location where we're going to meet. I'll post that by Tuesday or so. But show up on Friday. Show them that we're tired of the invasion of this country and the legal immigration. We don't hate Haitians, but just come the right way. We don't have a problem with Haitians working for us. We want to own this country. We can need the Haitian nationals to work for us because the Bahamians are going to be the owners in the New Bahamas. All right? Any foreigners, the Jamaicans, the Chinese, the Americans, you can come work for us. But we could be the owners in the New Bahamas. We're not going to be sitting down arguing over little increment and raise here and there. What kind of conversation is we having? Huh? Arguing about increments and raise and this nonsense. We need to own this country. So watch out, Bahamas. I'm afraid that the bad people from Haiti are going to outnumber us soon if we keep allowing our politicians to continue to do what they're doing. If those boats keep landing and the government keeps not addressing it, they're not saying a word about it. The government hasn't said a word about this code. This is a major incident in this country as we've discovered the destruction of our forests and the coal mines and destruction of the well fields. The government hasn't said a word. But they were on the phone calling police officers saying, listen, man, just do this for my man. And I thank the first officer who was called because he refused. I witnessed it. He refused to arrest me. I thank that honest, decent officer who said, Lincoln, do nothing. There's nothing in the book that says he did something wrong. It's not illegal to fire off a licensed gun in the bush. There is no complaint. So we have no grounds to even talk to him, let alone arrest him. And he refused, and they had to send some political prostitute police officer to go and do the dirty work. There's these filthy maggot prostitutes, political prostitutes, that are the problem in this country because the politicians won't do their own dirty work. You are the ones doing the damage. You are the ones lying on your own people, defamation of your own people. Dave Major sent a post out. Dave Major is a PLP political prostitute. Dave Major put a post out in a group saying that I am a terrorist. Dave Major, first thing in the morning, a police complaint will be filed and a writ will be drafted. You have until in the morning to apologize. I don't want to see anything, sir. I know that, you're just trying to make your little couple dollars, here and there. I don't want to take no bread out your mouth. But you have until first thing in the morning to apologize. I don't need to apologize because I really don't care what your opinion is. But Bahamas Press, call me a terrorist, they're going to be sued. Dave Major, you shared that in groups, you're going to be sued. And I'm going to file police complaints. Well, if Wayne Monroe could file police complaints and persons get arrested, let's see if Dave Major is arrested like how Omar Archer was arrested. Or is it going to be like the situation with Jobette Colby where a police officer is injured and they don't even question him? How the hell is it that you investigating? The man got injuries in the hospital. What is this? If that was you or me, you'd have been locked up pending further investigation. It's going to lock you up and then investigate. How is it you cutting ribbon and a police officer was injured? And the police didn't even talk to you? Enough is enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, time to stand up. Time to stand up for our country. If we don't do this now, it's gone. All right? Listen. I can move to any country, including Haiti. If y'all want to save our country, let's do this. I believe that there are enough serious Bahamians in this country left to say that enough is enough. If you want to let Brave Davis and Minnis and them allow our country to be turned into what Haiti is, then that's on you. Your children will suffer. Because it's the last thing I can say to you. There's a culture of some people from that place that they terrorize their own government. They overthrow their own government when they don't get their way. When they start to run York, and they start to do what we don't do, rise up and chop up and kill and burn in the streets, remember, I don't want you saying, boy, Lincoln Bain was telling us 10 years ago, and we ain't listening to him. Now look where we are. You could take that route while your people are dying, or you could take a stand now. End the corruption, false citizenship, false residency, false work permits. End the corruption now. Taking over our crown land. End the corruption now. Stand up. Stand with us. Yes, money is being made. People are making millions while you're all suffering trying to get one little raise, trying to get one little job. People making millions of our natural resources. Look, even the Haitians been making millions of our natural resources. When are we going to wake up, Bahamas? The foreigners, Carl Battle last year said the the cosmetic industry is making billions of dollars from our flora and fauna. People was like, "Wow, when this start happening?" We didn't know about that only because Lincoln started revealing it. They started saying it before I revealed it. Billions of dollars. Even Valdemar himself talked about the billions in limestone every year out of Grand Bahama from one company. 4 companies takes limestone from Grand Bahama. 4. He was talking about 1 and 5.4 billion. We are very wealthy, but y'all keep settling for promise, a little contract, a little job from the government that's only going to last 5 years. When every Bahamian can be wealthy. Well, I'm Bahamian and I'm ready to stand up with all those who are ready to stand up with me. So for those fellas who say they want me dead, who are going to kill me, listen, I'm going to be on the farm every day, every single day. You seem to be cowards because you seem to have made some arrangements to have the police come for my guns. Because you're afraid of me with my guns. Why don't go mano a mano? Bring your guns, I bring mine. No? Okay. Fist fight? No? Oh no. No, you cowards. You cowards. You cowards. We have no problem with your people. We have problem with those doing illegal activities. I will be on the farm every day. Welcome, see me. I can talk first. Talk first. Talk first. Come see me. Come see why I don't want this beautiful area. Come see that area. Come see the beautiful lake and the ducks and the geese and geese and the swans and the cranes, these beautiful birds that were trying to live there and they can't live in certain parts of it no more. Come see. Come see what every Bahamian feels when they come in the back then. Why are we fighting for this? If you come for 1 minute and experience what we feel in the back there, how beautiful that area is, you will see why we fight. Come see. Come see how we don't want this to turn into citizenship. We don't want this to turn into Laka. We don't want this to turn into Ghana. We want to keep this serene and beautiful for all of us. Let's raise our level of thinking. Bahamas, let's stand up and fight for this, because if you don't fight for this, you don't deserve to have this. Feeling is right. I say let's stand up and fight for this. I'm willing to stand up and fight for this because I think that you deserve this. But don't leave me on my own. Please. Show up on Friday in full force. It's a holiday. Show up. Let's show the government that we are serious about our country and we want our country back. So I want to thank all of you who've tuned in today. We've done extra long today. We've done extra long today. But like I said before, we are willing to do whatever it takes to defend this nation. We need a government that's going to look out for the Bahamian people once and for all. No more crumbs. No more crumbs. No more begging. Please, sir, can I have some more? Please, sir, can I have some more? That is what they've brought us down to. We don't expect to see any authorities harassing Bahamians, Brahmins, etc. farming. When they showed the whole Bahamas that they are corrupt because they didn't show up to the actual danger of gold mines. Thank you, Bahamas. Stand with us. Stand with us as we fight for the little that we have left. If you let them outnumber us, this is a democracy. If you let them outnumber us, finish. You see what happened in Florida? They now have Cuban governors, mayors, etc. Sometimes if you don't speak Spanish, you can't get a job in South Florida, some places. This is democracy. So once they get their numbers up, which they're clearly doing, they would have actual Haitian Prime Minister. Minister, actual Haitian Governor General, Commissioner of Police, and it will be. It's a democracy. Majority. Quebec recently had a Haitian governor of Quebec. What is this? Oh, there's a message being forwarded that says that a war has brewed between the members of the Coalition of Independence and the Haitian gang in the Carmichael Road area in southwest New Providence. The video surfaced where Leader Lincoln being fired shots from a semi-automatic weapon and sent threats to supposedly Haitians in the immediate area. Word have it that the video has unleashed gang members to search in search of CY members and has sworn to voyer yon massage stand. Bain fired the first shot and started the war. CY members must beware. This is absolute nonsense. This is false news. That is fake news. See, again, these are the types of political prostitutes that will say anything and lie just to get crumbs. This is what is disappointing in our country. This is what is happening. This is evil. I and we have no problem with Haitian nationals. We have a problem with specific persons who are doing evil. You cannot destroy our environment. We have a problem with pedophiles. That's why we're standing up for a real sexual offenders list. We are standing up against all wrong in our country. Bahamians who are selling drugs to our children, we have a problem with that. Foreigners who are abusing our Bahamians and talking to them any way they want, we have a problem with that. Stuff. Haitians. The fact that Chinese are buying up all the billions, they're doing it legally, but I have a problem with that because it will never come back to the Bahamian people. That doesn't mean I hate all Chinese or I have a problem with all Chinese. I have a problem with the idea that Bahamians are not being empowered in this way. Bahamians not being able to get easy access to Crown land, but everyone else does. That's a problem. I cannot own property in Haiti. That's the law in Haiti. I can't. No foreigner can own property. If you're married to a Haitian, there's a way for you to get it, but it's so stringent, you're wasting your time. A corporation can. But come on. It's not about a war against Haitians. We have no problem with Haitians. We have no problem with Haitians. But the PLP is now going to spread this false information, this misinformation. And when we have governments doing this against their own Bahamian people for political purposes, using fear and these evil lying tactics, these are the kinds of governments that need to go. This is why we need to stand up. This is why we need to rise up in this country and take this country back. Don't spread nonsense like that. Don't even share it. Why would you share that? Don't share their lies because some political prostitutes getting paid because you're sharing what they send out. And they're seen as effective, so they're getting paid. And so, ladies and gentlemen, show up on Friday. Make sure you're there. Wear your black. We have some t-shirts. You'll be able to come and get them this week or get them at the location. Wear black. Come out and show solidarity. Why do we like the colors white and black? Because white is no color. We believe it's time to, put colors aside, and black is every color. This means that we are inclusive of all. We're not haters. We're not hateful. But it needs to be structured properly. Our system isn't working. You can't have a system where Bahamians are on the bottom, where illegals could go and put up a gate to block Bahamians out. And then when the Bahamians stop them, they make a call to their politicians. The politicians start sending police to harass us. If that's the country you want to live in, listen, man, then listen to the political prosecutes, go to what they're going with, and so be it. But I believe that there are enough of us out there to stand up. And I know that I'm not standing alone. And so I want to thank all of you who tuned in. I appreciate the fact that you spent all this time with me. I just want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, from my mouth to your ears, that I am not afraid. That I am not afraid of their schemes, of their plots, of the wickedness. And I believe that my God is going to turn it back over on them. Woe to the one who sheds innocent blood. But in the meantime, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. We're going to stand up and we're going to fight. And if you're ready to stand up and fight, let's do this. How many of you are going to be there? I see hundreds of people on here. I know thousands of people would have watched this. There's hundreds that was on at the time. Let me know that you're going to be there. Put in the post. Let me see who's going to be there to support us. Are you going to be there? Are you going to be there on Friday to stand with us? To change, transform Labor Day, because we want to go from laborers to women. So we got to start by transforming. I've never participated in the Labor Day March. This will be my first one. We're going to transform our country from a country of laborers to a country of owners. Enough of it, man. We got to take this to another level. Enough of this nonsense. And so if you're ready to stand up and bring that change, let's do this. I know one thing. I'm ready. The question is, what sacrifice are you willing to make to save our country?
Weight on my shoulder, walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the room, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I gotta make up mind. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. prepare a place for you.
And it's Bahamian, unprepared to stand up and fight and defend their own Bahamas, then you don't deserve to have it.
Now let that sink in. Come on. Change ain't coming, change is here. You can hear it, you can feel it in the air. All politicians, put your hands in the air. Just a stick up, let me make myself clear. I'm a grown man talking, so you know what to do. No one's leaving till we figure out the truth. Why you laughing? This ain't nothing funny. So no one gets to go home till we figure out this money. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Now if you ain't standing with us, then I know you against us. Bahamas, this ain't no time for us to be lukewarm. This is war, and we riding through the storm. Come on. Let's go. Shalom to all my Hebrew brothers, to all my Muslim and Rastas, we need you, brother. Selassie, I know I can't forget the Christians. Let's put our differences aside, cause it's a bigger mission. See, they've been doing it for years, trying to separate us, kinda trying to keep us down and never elevate us. Now it's time to praise the Lord, cause he's about to take us over to the promised land where we can celebrate us. I got to do it for my kids that ain't even born. They gotta check that check, gotta have that time to collect, so they won't know how it feels to have that yoke around their neck. Yeah. See, y'all been robbing my grandmother, my great-great-grandmother and grandfather. It's like y'all can't get enough. Y'all just keep eating and eating and giving us nothing but taxes. Y'all went even as far as to say that this country's in debt and we ain't got no money. When 9 times out of 10, everybody in this country's possibly a millionaire. It's time to wake up. Let's talk about natural resources, cause every time we bring it up, they say hold your horses. They say it ain't working up the businesses across the borders. Oh yes, we track their bank accounts across the waters. They say this country in debt, but they making millions. If we don't stop this now, they be up to billions. It's about to go down and I get the feeling we gotta cut a movie on these dirty villains. Honest Lincoln Bain and his team came with information. It's like everything changed, everything went quiet. It's like so much facts and they can't deny it. They'd rather keep their mouths shut before they start a riot. Now look how they tryna just steal the oil. They don't wanna share with none of y'all. They've been robbing us while we were sleeping. Treason. Change ain't coming. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, but change is here. They say change ain't coming, nigga, change is here. Listen, from Freeport to Nassau all the way to Nawa, there's no more time for us to sit back and be quiet. You understand? This is war. If they only knew who we were, if they only know who we are, they would know we are warriors. No retreat, no surrender. Just give us what you owe us. I feel this all the way to my ancestors. We are warriors. We only really want what's owed to us. You get it? Now free up.